Ahead, take that Android and locking up a dance competition later in the show. Welcome to 3 Times Square this Tuesday from Reuters World Headquarters in New York. The iPhone 5 expected to be one of the hottest items this holiday season. The Apple device seen helping the company rake in nearly $55 billion in sales in its fourth quarter. But the smartphone already helping the company in other ways. Data out today shows Apple's iOS operating system regained the top spot in the U.S. market in the 12 weeks ended Halloween. Passing Google's Android software, Apple's share more than doubled from a year ago. The stock rose Monday after receiving a buy rating from Citigroup, closing at $589.53. Right now, it's just down a bit at $585.70. Apple is performing well, and the U.S. economy could follow its lead. The Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development seeing the potential for growth to pick up over the next 2 years. It projects a nearly 3% rise in GDP by 2014, but only if Washington addresses the fiscal issues facing the country.
Those forecasts for the U.S. assume that the fiscal cliff is resolved. So that's a big if, and we do definitely hope that that's the case. Secondly, we would like to see that embedded into a medium-term fiscal consolidation program for the U.S. fiscal situation, which is in bad need. However, if that happens, then the U.S. might pick up growth even more than we forecast, and that would be good for the global economy.
The OECD more concerned about Europe, calling the debt crisis in the recession-hit region the greatest threat to the world economy. But there's a little bit of breathing room now after a deal was reached to help Greece. Our Angeline Ong joins us from London. Angeline, more money on the way to Athens?
That's right, Lisa, and just in the nick of time, too, say the Greeks. Athens and markets certainly breathing a sigh of relief there after that lifeline. Markets up on the news. London's FTSE gaining slightly, about 0.1%, and Germany's DAX up 0.3% at the moment as we speak. After days of wrangling, Eurozone finance ministers finally agreed on a deal, namely cutting Greek debt by more than 40 billion euros. Plus, they're also looking to push debt down to 124% of GDP by 2020. They'll also cut the rates that Greece pays for bailout loans and suspend Athens' interest payments for 1 decade to give them more time to pay up. Athens will also get its next tranche of bailout money, as you said, keeping it afloat for now. So how significant is this for Europe, Lisa? Well, it's really significant because number one, it cuts down the risk of Greece exiting the Eurozone. And number two, it also opens the door to potentially more debt forgiveness down the road for Greece, although Germany and her allies continue to say no to this publicly. So watch this space. Back to you.
Okay, thanks so much, Angeline from London. This industry titan not afraid to mingle with the little people, making him our power player of the day. It's Peter Jackson, director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the upcoming Hobbit film, the first of another epic 3-picture franchise. Jackson and his Hobbit cast and crew winging into the New Zealand capital of Wellington, where some of the film was shot in preparation for the Hobbit's premiere there. The city now dubbed Wellywood due to all the business Jackson's films have brought New Zealand. After the Lord of the Rings trilogy, 6% of New Zealand tourists cited the films as their reason for visiting. 1% said it was their only reason, but consider this, that 1% spent nearly 33 million New Zealand dollars. We'll have to wait and see what the Hobbit series adds to that. And finally, from Middle-earth to Gangnam Style, on the heels of the video by South Korean singer Psy becoming the most watched YouTube video ever, comes this heartwarming story. 70 inmates in a Bangkok prison took part in a Gangnam Style dance competition today. The prisoners, who are doing time for crimes ranging from robbery to drug smuggling, dressed up in wigs and makeup for the event. A corrections authority said the idea started in the hope of reducing violence among prisoners, and indeed some of them did say that it helped to reduce their stress. That is the latest in 3 Times Square this Tuesday. You can follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider and check out our Reuters YouTube channel at Reuters.com/ReutersTV. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.